You know who's keeping who hanging on?
Just.
Deontay Wilder wants another voluntary fight. He fought Birmingham in January. He fought Eric Molina in June. And just recently, Johann Duhaupas in September. T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. His mandatory, Alexander Povetkin, is going to be fighting Maurice Wach on November the 4th, 2015. And Deontay Wilder is basically saying, well, why can't I just have another fight in between then? Because Povetkin is not going to be ready in December because he's fighting in November. He's not going to be ready in January because he's fighting in November. So why can't I squeeze a fight in December, then me and him fight in the spring, March, April, or May of 2016? So if you don't know, I'm T-Street Controversy. This is T-Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. And in a way, I kind of agree with Deontay Wilder because it's like, why would, okay, I understand that Alexander Povetkin, matter of fact, when was the last time Alexander Povetkin fought? That's what we need to find out. So why I find that out is I know he knocked out Carlos Takam, but I'm trying to remember when was that fight, even though I covered it. So I can look at it from Povetkin's point and saying, well, Deontay Wilder has took two voluntaries in Molina and Duhaupas that basically they've been, they've been avoiding the purse bid situation. Okay, put it this way. Not to confuse myself or to confuse you, Deontay Wilder is trying to squeeze in another fight, in my opinion, to make some money. A lot of fans, boxing fans, feel that if Deontay Wilder fights for Alexander Povetkin, Deontay Wilder is going to get knocked out by Alexander Povetkin. If you don't know who Alexander Povetkin is, he's very good. Deontay Wilder, with his win over Eric Molina and with his win over Johann Duhaupas, even though he did stop them both, he didn't show to me enough to make me believe that he can beat an Alexander Povetkin as far as skill-wise. Alexander Povetkin is very good. So what I'm looking up right now is I'm supposed to be looking up is when was the last time Alexander Povetkin fought? Because maybe he feels that, well, I'm going to take this fight with Wach, who's a very good opponent, who I wouldn't mind Deontay Wilder fighting. But see, here's the thing. If Deontay Wilder takes another tune-up fight, right? It's going to be somebody that we don't even believe he should be fighting. Also, if you don't know, the WBC, who Deontay Wilder is the champion of, is saying that if he does take another fight before Alexander Povetkin, they're not going to sanction it. So I'm thinking okay, let's say, for example, right, if Deontay Wilder decides to not take another fight, when would him and Alexander Povetkin actually be able to step in the ring? Now, I'm thinking for Povetkin to get a full 8-week training camp after Wach, I'm thinking maybe he'll take about a month off after that fight, then go right in a training camp, and maybe they can fight in March, and I'm thinking, well, what's so difficult about Deontay Wilder waiting until March? But to me, it's looking like, well, they're trying to make him as much money as they possibly can before he gets into the ring with a Povetkin, because let's face it, he made over $1 million, I believe 1.5 to fight Birmingham, and he's made like 1.4 to fight Eric Molina, and then 1.4 something, but around those numbers to fight Johann Duhaupas. So he's making some good money, and then throw in another, fight, making 4 fights this year, he can make another $1 million+, which would mean he'll probably clear about $6 million this year. So I can see from a money standpoint, and from they're trying to get as many wins under his belt, and get him as marketable as possible. So therefore, when he does fight Alexander Povetkin, the fight can make a lot more money. But right now, I'm thinking, well, what's the point of fighting another fight if you're going to fight a fighter that you can easily win? Now, I know all this crap about, well, you don't know how these fighters are. Any fighter has a chance when they go in there against Deontay Wilder. I understand that, but I'm thinking to myself, well, what's the point of keep fighting these fighters with no names? If you're the champion of the world, then fight somebody, that fans would want to see you fight. For example, I would love to see him fight a Shannon Briggs. Why not Shannon Briggs? If you got another voluntary defense, then why not fight a guy like Shannon Briggs? Why? Because if Deontay Wilder was to lose to a guy like Shannon Briggs, then Deontay Wilder's marketability is in. But it would be so much money for both fighters, because Shannon Briggs is very well known in the boxing community now because of all his crashing of press conferences and weigh-ins and things like that. He's actually looking pretty marketable right now. So, you know, who knows? Maybe a Deontay Wilder against a Bryant Jennings, because you can't fight Bermane Stiverne and then fight Eric Molina and Johann Duhaupas and then fight another fighter that we don't know of. This fighter, if he wants to fight again, especially if he's saying he wants to fight again in December, you know, it's got to be a fighter that for one, he's probably in negotiations with now, but it's got to be a fighter that fans know. You know, I'm sick of seeing Deontay Wilder fight guys like Jason Gavern and Nikolai Furtha. You know, the toughest fight, or what was supposed to be the toughest fight of his career, looked like a sell job against Malik Scott. So, you know, I want to see him fight a real fight. I'm sick and tired of it. You know, I would rather him sit out and wait for Alexander Povetkin than to fight another quote-unquote tomato can. I'm T-Street Controversy with RealCombatMedia.com. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe.